YouTube, what is going on? Another video, Daniel back. We want to shoot a quick video. I want to shoot a quick video for you guys before bed. Essentially, the habit of speaking is key. I showed here, as much as possible, especially the days where I need it most. Today being one of them, but every day also helps. But today, just woke up off, low frequency, and that's some physical symptoms. You can say of the stomach. Really determine the morning. I need an extra rest, and didn't skip training. I still did burpees and did push-ups as well with a weighted vest to get back into good frequency, but was not didn't resistance train. So, but I wanted to make a video to simply just speak, flow. Like I said, don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't have a topic in mind. Nothing comes to my head. And if it did, it would be the devil anyways, because, that's control, it's fear, and it's not the Holy Spirit using you. The way the Holy Spirit can use you is when you simply flow, don't think, don't get in the way, don't put your agenda, your ego into what the title could be, what gets views, what people are going to react to, what controls reactions in people. And you simply have to speak authentically. Whatever comes to you will come to you. It's just like a thought that comes in. It's not thinking. And before the video you have something, and then during the video you have a way of saying it, and you want to control it, and then after the video you're like, what did I say this properly? Let me redo it. The videos that are the best that I've seen for this channel, just in general, is the ones that you don't remember anything, because that's not you anymore. You remove yourself from the whole picture, and it's literally the Holy Spirit using you, and you just become a vessel, and you flow in your own way. You don't copy anyone else and what they do. You don't copy mannerisms or what they say, sentences, the way they speak. It's you, yourself, your spirit, your story, and you flow. And that is what I teach here on my channel, because I have to be the example. I have to be the one that shows the way. And thankfully, God has put people in my life that have been able to show me the path more and more. But at the end of the day, it has to be me that shows the way in my own way, because everyone has their own gift. My gift is different from your gift, different from your friend's gift, different from my coach's gift, my brother's gift. Everyone's gift is different, and God knows your gift before you came here. But the most important thing is, those days that, are tough, that the devil is attacking you, it's low frequency. Maybe decisions you've made because, past few days I haven't rested properly, and that's been a thing that's really affected, everything. Everything is spiritual, but when you are underslept, your frequency really takes impact. Yeah, it gets hit with that. And that's why today I'm going to bed. Today, right now it's almost 8. So almost 9. I'll be going to bed after this video, because it's about making the right choices to get back. And like I said, it's not making the right choices for someone else. I can make a choice to be something for someone else. But in the day, the only person you have to make a decision for and connect to, and really show up for every day, is the one that brought you here. It's not for your ego. It's not for what you think of yourself, or what you want to control about yourself. It's literally God's will. And I posted something on my Instagram as well. I didn't like the music behind it, but I like the message. It basically said, Jesus came once and it was perfect, and people still hated him. So no one's opinion of you in the flesh in this world matters. So that's why the only one that matters is God. And they use the cliche thing, only God could judge me, but that's using that as an excuse for your sinning. So if you're out drinking late, doing drugs, using women for sex, getting lost in lust, giving feelings to everything, you can say God can judge me, but at that point I've been with God. He's way out of the picture. When you're really living this life, the 0.01% life, and you feel the decisions you're making 10 times more, because that's what this lifestyle really comes down to, is the decisions, the micro, smallest details of things you do. For instance, even watching reels is one thing I've noticed that gives me a feeling, which is fake. You can really get lost in the whole thing of YouTube videos, reels. And that's one thing I'm killing currently. But even things like that, if you watch a reel, let's say, my example, then making that decision and falling into that temptation is the wrong decision. So something as small as that, you could say, oh, it's dumb, like it doesn't make sense. But like I said, everything is spiritual. Every decision you're making, whether you want to reach out to a friend, you want to reach out to an old partner, you want to, make a purchase, you want to go on a trip, everything you have to decide if you're doing that in high frequency. And, it's simply something that your conscience tells you, which is God trying to connect with you, the Holy Spirit. I used to call your conscience, I'm going to call your Holy Spirit now because it's the Holy Spirit trying to, guide you to the way. Or it's low frequency and feelings and thinking that's making you do that, out of fear of needing something from the external. So you have to decide and really get into the habit of making decisions when you're in highest frequency, especially big ones. Low ones, you're always gonna, when you're lower frequency, you're gonna start making decisions that just keep putting you lower and lower. Even small ones, it's many different things, but like any micro decision that just gets you lower and lower frequency. Maybe not speaking when you should be speaking, in this journey. You can do the habits, but if you don't speak, you will not get anywhere close to where you can if you do speak or where you should be, because speaking is the way to, like I said, become a vessel. If you're just mute and posting your stories on Instagram and just doing the habits that I preach on here, you have a habit masterclass that I'll post in the description, then you don't really help anybody. You just become another, you could say, influencer or someone that, is doing the habits. But even at that point, there will come a time where your ego comes, and then it's usually game over. I've met a lot of people that do the habits and then are not able to stay within, the within their power, and then lose themselves to the ego. The ego wants you out of your power. The ego wanted me out of my power for a long time, and even now, every day is a battle. But like I said, it's making the right choices. You watching this video is a right choice because I only give you wisdom. And you watching this video is also not a coincidence. Another thing as well, I was reflecting on is coincidences and how much I believed in coincidences before. But coincidences are just signs. Coincidences is a term of the world. There's many terms of the world that, is actually spiritual, coincidence being one of them. Coincidence is a sign. There's no such thing as coincidences. It's God giving you signs that, you should speak with somebody, you should do something, you should, pay attention to one thing. Like all these things that happen around you or you see occur out of nowhere is a sign that God is present and wanting you to do something. And it's really understanding that the world wants to remove his power, especially now. And it's, realizing that your frequency depends on yourself. Like I said, on my Instagram, you can see how I used positive anger today to get out of that frequency, because I knew I was low frequency. I knew I was, close to not making the right choice, even with, exercising and burpees. But I had to really get out of that ability to make an excuse and not show up. Because like I said, if I don't show up, then you and this channel, those watching, those that, want to connect with God and are on that path, aren't able to, get the example they need. Because I want to be the leader, not only for you guys watching and this community, but, in my family as well. Men, I realized me in the past wanted to be the leader financially, want to have the power so you can make decisions, but that's ego. Of course, I know I'll be blessed financially when God knows his time, but, I also want to, more than anything, I want to be the spiritual leader in my family. I made a video about this, in terms of how I'm starting to see me affect my family, but what matters most is that we stay aligned. You watching, me, myself, more importantly, make the decisions to stay aligned, because at the end of the day, this life is all spiritual. Everything that's happening right now, end of times, whether you see it or not, all these things that are in the news and events, it's signs of end times. And, if you just have resources, that'll help. But what you need is connection to the source, and you need your spirit and your soul. So now is the time, if you're not doing it, to begin to develop your spiritual side. Watching these videos, doing the habits, connecting with me if you need to, with the coaching. but paying attention to people that have their spirit and live spiritually as opposed to live for the flesh and live for the world, because that will be taken away from you very fast, especially with what's going on in this world, the end of times. You believe you can hold on to that like it's an anchor or something of power. And this world is flesh, it'll help you, but what you need, which connects this world, the heavens and the earth, is spirit. You need the Holy Spirit. You need your spirit. You need your soul. You need to do things that disconnect you from this like clinging you have onto the world, and really begin to put your spirit above everything else. That's why, like I said, the decisions you're making need to connect you. Stop doing things for flesh. Stop drinking. Stop going out, just to meet women and get in, casual relationships and sex, and stop doing drugs. Stop, going to music festivals and concerts and things to lose yourself and escape with. Stop going to trips just to escape for 2 weeks and then come back depressed. Oh, I miss this place, and I want to move there, and everything sucks here. Start getting present in where you are and really begin to appreciate, be grateful, like listen, see the signs that are coming. Because when you're escaping, like I said, you're doing these things for the world and the flesh and living for ego, you miss all the signs. You think it's a coincidence, but there's signs. It's Jesus trying to find you, but you're just so lost in the world and what people think about you, and how you can look better to other people, and status, and money, and all these things. Money you need is important, but this like clinging to money like it's something, if it's going to change you, is fake. It's an illusion. Money enhances who you are. If you're nobody spiritually and you're just relying on money for a feeling, the same thing's going to happen when you have 10. You're just going to be you're going to be more in need of money and clinging to money. But if you're someone that can connect and be aligned and be someone, have a leader for your family, then money, when you have it and God blesses you, as long as you're blessing people with your gift, like I mentioned before, your gift is different from my gift, then you don't need the money. It's just a bonus. But you just need a day, you need Jesus, you need your spirit, and then you have a life in this one and the next. Because what's the point of putting everything in, all your eggs in one basket that's temporary? This life is a test. You can close your eyes tomorrow or when you go to bed and not wake up, and then what? Like, does that not concern you? Does not, you could say worry, but do not reflect on that? Like, I'm living too much for this world. Like, I was never realizing that before, but thankfully I'm on this path now, and Jesus put me here. But before, I was like living so much for the flesh and the feeling of the world, and then if I died tomorrow, it's like I would have had nothing. I would have been so attached to this thing that's so temporary and so fleeting. That's why in the Bible it says, "Do not build your kingdom here, but build your kingdom in the eternal," because this fades. When you close your eyes, when your day comes, that means there's no more world. Everything is going to continue either here or here. There's no purgatory. People think it's a purgatory waiting room, and I don't know, you get like a test again or like a final exam. No, the way you lived here determines whether you go here, eternal, peace, God, Jesus, like life, or here, hell, burning, just sin, like regret, shame, guilt, low frequency. Like high frequency, God, Jesus, heaven, connected, the source, wisdom. Low frequency, regret, shame, guilt, sinning, devil, feelings, low energy, ego. Like, it's binary. You live either for frequency, high, and you don't know it, and you're flowing, or low frequency, and you're living for the flesh and the world, and you believe it. This matters so much. So, yeah, just crazy flow. Like I said, not trying to, get in the way, but this is just things I've been having. Because like I said, for myself, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I mentioned, making the right decisions is what's going to lead me even more in power and, more of that like energy. But it's removing the ways the devil can get in. So like I said, all the decisions matter. All the decisions matter. Even like, so many examples, but all the micro decisions matter. How you interact with the world, how you talk with people. If you say things about people, or if you're judging people, it's all like these little things that you believe didn't matter before. They all matter, and Jesus is always watching, because he does not need to know He doesn't watch the external things, what you're saying and what you're doing, but he knows what's in your heart. He knows what's in your mind. He knows everything. So once you clean yourself and rid of yourself of everything, that's when you can become, really a vessel for him and just return to a spirit, which you are, a soul, and, become closer to him and his kingdom. But that's all I seek, and that's why I keep showing up. And even the days are hard and, it's low frequency, I do the things. I put myself around the people that know the things to do to get me to that place so I can keep living this life, keep giving my gift to the world, and keep helping those that need it, you watching. So this is all I care about. I care about nothing else. I don't care about money. I don't care about cars. I don't care about houses. There's nothing that comes to mind that, I need or like gives me a feeling that if I don't have it by this time, then my life I have everything I need as long as I'm aligned and in high frequency. God will bring me everything I need when I don't need it and don't think about it. So that's why this life is perfect. This is a lifestyle that I've chosen, that God chose for me, and I keep choosing every day. And now it's about making better decisions to help you and also help God and my family, because my family needs this. Because every family needs a spiritual leader in their house. So if you don't see one that you can bank on, then become that person. And I promise you, especially with what's going on and where life is going in this earth, it will be the best decision you do make. So we'll leave it there. Hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe. Wisdom as always, and just getting more and more empowered with the decisions I make. And you will see me in the top of the world with this coaching because I want it more than anything, and I make the sacrifices. I'm willing to do whatever the world thinks is weird or backwards or whatever it is, because I listen to God and what he tells me and what the Spirit tells me to do. And as hard as it is sometimes, and decisions I've made didn't make sense to me, I was like resisting them. But when I made them, I knew it was perfect, and my spirit, was at peace, then I knew it was going in the right direction. So that's what I want for you guys. You guys can contact me as well. You have my Instagram. You have the masterclass that I have there. And yeah, just show you on my Instagram the way to live this life. And you can ask me questions, and most importantly, connect to really show you the path, because it's a beautiful way. And like I said, it was chosen for me, but I keep choosing every day. And I know I'm one of God's soldiers, but the whole thing is getting into his frequency so he can connect with you. So God bless, much love. And if you guys see the time of the video, appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, comment below as well, where you're at in this journey. I want to know, especially, your journey, just your path, how you see things, and especially if you see yourself as a leader spiritually for your family, because that's what's going to matter the most, like I said. So God bless, much love, and as always, until next time, I have faith in you guys, and keep killing it.